Welcome to Red Deer, Alberta and Heritage Lanes for the 2018-2019 WCBTour Championship. I'm Mark Johnstone. I'm your WCBT Vice President. This is our broadcast team here. To my right, I have Gino Zebarth. To my left, I have Lynn Howell. We'll be with you for the whole day doing all the commentary. Gino, what do you expect from today?
Well, just from seeing the group of people that we have here, we should have some very entertaining competition. Just every one of these guys are great competitors. They're all, well, they're fairly young too compared to you and I. Yeah. Like, we're the old guys, and Len. Well, he's old, he's ancient. But anyway, you know, we should have some really good competition, and it should be very interesting to see.
Great, thanks, Gino. And Lynn, what do you think are some keys to success for these guys today?
Well, all of these guys have national championships under their belt, gold medals. They're all tournament winners, so I don't think the height of the competition is going to make them afraid or make them back down. They're all going to be aggressive, and each one of them has the ability to win. It's only a one-game match, so they got to come out of the gates quick, and it will be interesting.
Great, thanks, Lynn. All right, let's get her going. Thanks, everybody.
Well, we got two good competitors here. Gary Baird was a gentleman that, Mark, we played Masters Nationals with. And you know what the interesting part was? That year when we won gold in Masters, there was yourself, myself, Gary Baird, Victor Fulbert, and Kerry Kreitz we were all central bowlers at the time. And our only non-central bowler was our coach, Mr. Howell, sitting next to me.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's good times. What can you say about Gary Baird, eh? How would you like to throw the ball like Gary Baird throws the ball? There's just people who watch him are just in awe of how smooth he is and consistent.
He's got phenomenal roll on the ball, and he can crack some crackers like that.
And he throws a smaller size bowling ball than most bowlers.
He reminds me of an ex-central bowler, Mark Jackson, who was a guy. Mark threw the bigger ball. Like Gary, Mark could throw that ball and it looked like it covered the whole head did. And it was going to be just dead on. And it would just go crack and everything would fly. Well, Gary's similar to that. He throws a little ball and it looks like it's going to be, and they just snap.
Well, Gary had a match last night. He had one strike and he won the match because he was spared everything.
He had seven spares a strike and 2 plows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the battle of the small balls. Both these guys use little balls.
Yeah.
You know, I could go on forever and talk about Timmy and what he does for the sport of 5-pin bowling. Tim Wiseman is our Edmonton 5-pin Bowling Association president, and he works. It's amazing the amount of hours that the gentleman puts into the game of 5-pin bowling, and people don't realize how tough it is to do that and still play at a competitive level because your mind is on bowling 24/7.
Yeah,
right?
I can attest to that.
They own the bowling alley in Sherwood Park. Him and his brother Dexter, who we'll see later, and his mom and dad. And just another example of people that are in the bowling business for the bowlers.
And right off the bat, we have a carryover.
But yeah, Timmy's a phenomenal person.
Yeah, he loves the game.
Oh, he loves the game. He reaches out, and doesn't just reach out to people in Edmonton, he reaches out to people all across Canada, right?
Yeah.
He's also on the WCBT committee with Kerry, and yeah.
Well, I think that's what's helped the sport of bowling throughout the province, or throughout the country, pardon me, is because we have people like him and Kerry involved in it. And what's now we have the tour that they have over in Newfoundland in the Atlantic tour.
Starting up, trying to emulate this.
Emulate it.
Yeah.
Ontario used to have a thing called Yaba, but it was meant more for the younger people as opposed to all of them.
The club tour in Ontario is picking up, though.
Is it picking up again?
Yeah, their Thanksgiving tournament, I know they've kind of following our formats a little more, so they're expanding it a little bit.
And that's the thing that that our game, even though it's in a little bit of a decline, it seems like the tournament and everything like that is in good shape because these guys are young. These guys are young and they're the competitors and the people that everybody else looks up to, and they include everybody. You know, just great work that Tim does.
Okay, you got 12 there. So Jerry needs 13 or better to win the 2-frame carryover.
Gary doesn't play a lot of the tournaments across the tour. He does not go to
Doesn't play
Regina.
as many as the cash tournaments, no, but
Part of that is because of his work.
Exactly.
So that makes him making this even that more phenomenal
Yeah.
because he played
Less
3
tournaments,
tournaments, and made it.
But I'm looking at his resume here, and his national championship accomplishments in the Open and the Masters is just phenomenal. You know, the first 5 times he went to nationals as a YBC bowler and a player, he won gold the first 5 times.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I had the pleasure of when Gary was a rookie. When we went to Hamilton and we won. There's 4 rookies on the team plus a rookie coach, and the next one was Victor's dad, Lawrence, and myself, and great time. It was really, really special.
Well, I've had
That's a 2-frame pair over there.
I've had the luxury of being able to bowl with these gentlemen on teams as a coach, just because I'm a little bit past the prime and over the hill, but I take great pride in coaching all of these bowlers from different parts of the province, and I've got a lot of respect and
Yeah, we were
love watching Gary.
You coached us in Sudbury. When we won gold in Sudbury in 09, I believe.
Yeah.
No, yeah, 09. I think. Gary was on the team.
Gary was on the team that year.
Stevenson and Perry.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh yeah, Perry Gilman, yeah.
And Brad. Oh, we got that one out there.
Was that the infamous luggage rack trip down to the?
No. That was Thunder Bay. That was 2002.
It was Thunder Bay, yeah.
That was far before that.
There's a lot of good times, a lot of good stories. I love it. That's excellent. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Gary got that ball well out onto the lane.
See if Tim can answer.
So
Get on
with
it.
that, we have Gary won 2 out of the first 3 frames, and
Oh, he gets
Timmy,
a kickback.
Timmy
You see
doesn't
the
get the
replay
ball
there.
out much as a lot of the other bowlers. He's got the ball down beside his foot, pushing it out across the line and following through, but he's got tremendous rotation and throws a heavy ball.
So I guess that frame would go to Gary.
yep, puts up Gary up 3. That could be a very integral part.
I know Tim is definitely thinking, hopefully Tim's hoping he can win this one because then he can play his brother the next round.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
We might have a little bit to talk about there.
Yeah.
You know, in this competition today, we got 4 bowlers that won national championships just this May in the Canadian Open, all playing on the Edmonton men's team, and now they're playing in that tough competition all against each other. So the game kind of goes in circles.
I don't think that was down the shield.
Yeah, the shield is on its way
Kicked in.
down, so it's
The 3-pin was leaning a bit, but it's definitely an up pin. He's got to clean up all his wood he can, and he's going to need a little bit of a break here, I think.
Yeah.
Down 4-0 hole already. It's tough to come back.
Timmy does have an occasion to stop using his legs as much, and he starts getting a little cautious to the line, and then he throws it all arm, and sometimes he loses a little bit of his rotation when he does that because he forces the ball a bit. But when he's using his legs, man, he throws strikes like crazy.
all he has to do is find that one point.
That one,
once it happens,
you throw that one good ball and you say, that's it, here we go, and you keep that feel and you keep that thought process, and away you go.
Because usually on this, you can go in quick enough that you can get a feeler going.
Yeah.
one of the hardest things in the game is just being able to put it to a pace where you can play. How often do you hear of someone when they're playing really, really well, and all of a sudden they say, man, it took like 2 hours to finish that one game.
Yeah.
But when you're losing, it goes so fast, eh?
Another frame for Gary there.
Another frame for Gary, yeah.
Thick shot.
Each player plays at a different tempo. They have a different mindset. So you have to stay within yourself. But don't allow the other player to be able to pull you along and force you to play at their speed. It doesn't mean that we should try and drag the game on. It just means that you have to learn what is good for yourself.
Exactly. Gary kind of palms the ball while he's setting up too. He lays it gently in his hand there with.
lets it go.
Pretty great shot. Pretty great shot.
All right, Tim, now or never here. Got to start going now. He's losing a bit of pinfall as well.
Yeah, he's losing the pinfall too. So that's the thing. If you do catch up and get to 5-5, you know, with pinfall being the tiebreaker, you got to make sure you hang in there and put a good effort on every shot. Okay, Timmy, throw a good shot here right now.
Hey, he's on the board.
He's on the board, yep. You notice on that one too, he got the ball across on the left side of the head pin and everything carried.
Same type of thin strike that Danny had.
That Danny had, yeah.
But he still dropped the ball.
Yeah, like I said, Timmy doesn't get the ball out a lot, but he just needs to lift it over the line just a couple inches to make sure that it comes out of his fingers instead of, like you said, laying it down.
Taking a little extra time.
Yep.
Another ball in the left-hand pocket.
Yep. And it's like I said, once you get that feel, and all of a sudden it's like, you know, sometimes you play your best is when you put in the ultimate.
Well, and all of these bowlers have been down at some point in time and come back to win a big match, right? It's a little tougher when it's only a one-game match because you got less time to do it, but all of these bowlers have no quit in them.
Yeah, the only time that during the WCBT that we play is at the Autumn Open where it's
the
a
one game match in the
as
final,
opposed to with everything else
being the
it's
three
always
game,
three game total
exactly.
pinfall.
He looked a little bit off balance, the line there.
Yeah, leaning a little left.
Yeah, he's kind of
Yeah.
So with that, Tim picks up 2, and we now have a score of 4-2. So
Yeah, and he's working on a double. He can run some strikes, get some big counts in there.
The biggest thing for Tim now is just frame for frame.
Yep.
You know, and not trying to get everything back all at once. There we go. You know, it's funny that 3-pin, because there's a gentleman from Newfoundland who played out here with us, and Brad
Glenn.
Brad Glenn, yep.
Brad thinks that's the hardest spare in the game. He even had Gary convinced for that. And I went, you guys are nuts.
Well, you know what? When you get a shot that you think is easy, it can become hard. Just because you don't
You
expect
lose
the work
focus.
ethic. Exactly.
But
exactly.
percentage points, it's easier because you have both sides of the 3-pin to hit. All you have is 1 pin. You don't have to throw stuff to spare.
Oh, it's supposed to be the easiest.
There we go. That's. I think Tim's heart rate just went up a little bit there. You know, now he knows that he 2 good shots and he's right there.
Yeah.
Door open just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So, Gino, when you're bowling and you've got a decent lead on a really good bowler, are you up there saying to yourself, "Don't throw this one bad. I don't want to, I don't want to give him a chance." Or what are you focusing on? Are you focusing
For
on?
me, I'm just focusing on the shot.
Just the shot.
Throw a good ball.
So
Throw a good ball. And then, you know what? It's like a lot of times when you throw the ball. It's, hey, give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
I remember one year, well, a prime example.
15.
I'm playing against Bruce Mortar. I'm way up. Bruce all of a sudden throws boom, 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 boom at me.
Yeah.
I got to make that last shot. I said, okay, throw it at the middle. And I believe I'm an aggressive
So it's all about
thrower.
focus and execution.
It's focus and execution.
You betcha.
Well, and focusing on the right things
On the
too.
right thing, yeah, that's a really good point.
Because when I'm playing well, I'm focusing on what I need to do. When you're not playing well or having struggles, you're thinking about results.
What am I doing wrong? Yeah.
Or thinking negatively, or don't do this or whatever.
That's why you
it's
guys
so
have
hard
heard
for
me
all of us.
100 times when I missed a corner. Miss a corner on a 7-bagger, right?
Hit it.
The whole idea.
Laid it down. Oh, got a little break there. Got to count.
Yeah, helps
The
on the
whole
count.
idea is you want to put a positive thought back in
Yep.
your mind.
And it's hard. I
Cup's
struggle with that all the time.
Cup's always got to be half full.
Yep.
Always got to be half full.
You have to think about the positive and what you want to do. You think I get a strike, not don't get a head pin, because it's a negative.
Yeah.
You're still thinking about the head pin, right?
Yeah.
Like even whether it's a negative or positive, you're still thinking about it. So you think about a strike, That's the only thing you should be thinking about. Or what you need to do to get a strike.
That's
okay, I got to
exactly.
take two slow steps and finish my shot.
That's the best answer right there. You can think about it before you get up on the lane, but as soon as you get up on the lane, you put the ball in your hand, it's all about execute. What do I got to do? And for the most part, these bowlers, maybe 80% of their execution is all the same, but they've all got that 20% that is the
hardest
in their own
we all
game.
have the mindset. The hardest thing is
Tim's
to
going to
be
clean
able
this up here.
Yeah, yes, this is big. He's kind of let.
Tim.
That's really letting Gary off the hook there.
Okay, so we have 5-2.
Yep. So
Yeah, plus he lost a lot of pinfall.
yeah. So, but getting back to what we were talking about, that the hardest thing is when you're in a situation like that, you can tell your mind everything you want, but if you can't get your heartbeat back down to the level that you want, where you're controlled, it doesn't matter what you think.
There's a greasy one.
So,
Yeah, and then a little bit of that game too, or maybe a lot of that game too, is you can do everything right and you can still punch.
exactly.
You know, and that's such a
tough
tough
about bowling.
That's tough about bowling.
You're doing what you're supposed to do.
Lloyd
Exactly.
Cox was a gentleman that played in the old league down in BC and then came over to Alberta and played here. And Lloyd used to always tell me, he said one day, he says, you know what, you got to learn to miss the middle on your first ball. And I said, Lloyd, if I throw and miss the middle on the first ball, I can endure. Great shot.
There's that little ball that you were talking about, Gino carrying those things. You can hear that strike as well as see it. Oh, the
It
sound was
reminds me of
amazing.
the old days
wood
when we
pins.
used to have the wood pins.
Yeah.
That sound was what that reverberated
Yeah.
through up the lanes, and people, it got you interested.
Oh, the noise is awesome.
Yeah.
This is part of the appeal with 10 pin, right? It's like,
No,
Oh,
it's
exactly.
all
Yeah.
the cool noise.
Yeah, that's right.
And the machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Gary throws some marks here, it's going to be pretty tough for Tim to catch him in
Scores
pinfall.
is really tough.
But there's still lots of points up there.
Well, Tim has a possibility of 178 or 278.
278.
Pardon me.
That was good.
No doubt about that one.
So Tim would invariably have to strike out to get 278. Gary would invariably have to have the worst case scenario.
Yeah, because it had been 75, so that's 284.
Yeah.
So it's pretty tough to catch pinfall anyway. Need a lot.
Well, it would be 274 to 278.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
No, 284.
284.
284. Yeah, sorry. Me bad.
Got a kickback, but needed the strike there.
I needed the
Yeah.
strike.
So another 2 frames to Gary.
Yeah. Yeah, if Timmy was able to throw that strike in 7, that would have been a totally different match.
Oh, definitely.
Not
Because Gary came up and threw a double right
He
after
came up
that.
through the double, but Timmy would have been a little more hyped, a little more enthused,
And Gary would have a little more
a
pressure.
little more
to
pressure.
him.
Yeah, so it would have been both ways, right?
Oh, no love. Just can't carry him. He's had 3 chops this game. Couple head pins. Gear's just been on the side a little bit more.
And when he hasn't, he's had the finger roll to carry it through. There we go. Good shot, Tim.
No, this frame's still up for grabs.
You know, it's really hard for me on this case scenario because Tim's a really good friend, Gary's a really good friend.
Yeah.
So to see either of them struggle like this is really hard.
Well, that's why we're fortunate, right? We've played a long time, and we've played with a lot of these people, and they are all really good friends, right?
Yes.
So Tim with a 20 count for 206 total.
Yeah, final score 206. Carries.
I think he'll be a little disappointed with that for sure.
Yeah.
It's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Well, maybe.
I think the shot was spared last night in the team event, was it? Or was it the...
Yeah, no, somebody did, yeah.
yeah, it
I
was
think
Lonnie.
was it Lonnie?
It was Lonnie. Slid it over. Remember, he had that game where he had 4 straight trick shots in a row?
Oh, yeah. The headpin fell over and stood back up.
He hit Gino, and Lonnie punched the head pin. It came back on the lane and stood
up.
But it knocked over the left 3 pin. So he was left with punch the head pin, and it counted as the 3 pin, right?
So instead of getting a headpin, then they lost by 2.
If it would have been the old free fall days, then it would have taken the place of the 3 pin, and it was counted as a 3 pin. So Gary wins that one 7-3. All right.
Well, Gary, congratulations.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Good.
Good. I know last time you were on the show, it didn't go so well, so probably a lot better this time.
A little easier.
Yeah.
A little more relaxed.
Yeah, the experience helped with you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.